Happy birthday, Ash. Can you believe we're nearly 2 years here and it's Ash's birthday? And this is his
How
second.
old am I?
24? 24, 25?
Yeah, nailed it.
This is obviously Ash's birthday. This is his birthday podcast. We don't want to make a big deal, but I just wanted to wish him a happy birthday. It shows that we love each other and that it's not all sunshine and roses behind the camera where we're like, fuck you get it.
Yeah, so it's my birthday, 5th October. So when this comes, when this comes out, will have been a day. Probably not doing too much. Pretty low key affair this year. I've just figured out that they deliver KFC to me, so that's a birthday present. I'm fucking getting a mighty bucket with some gravy. Fucking oh. Fuck Subway. All the homies hate Subway. I only like Subway because fucking KFC wasn't here. Now KFC's here. It's over. Had a fucking haircut. Look at that. It's all trimmed up. I still need a shave. I'm still half torn to see whether I'd grow this shit out or not. Probably not. But
we'll probably have to shave
I'm
for
okay.
November. That's what we'll have to do.
Probably.
Like we usually do.
But yeah, I think my birthday will probably be a pretty low key affair. It's on Saturday, so it was on Saturday. The family probably came round. My sister said she is gonna make a red velvet cake for my birthday because she made one for my brothers and it was fucking unreasonable. It was so good. Like, I've never really been much of a cake person, but I think it's just because I've not had many good cakes. Like, fuck me, that red velvet cake is the best cake I've ever eaten. If it's even like half as nice, it's like, oh yes, give me more.
See, before we get into the topic very quickly on cake, I keep enticing my dad because obviously I turned 21 this year. My dad wants to do, and especially wants to make cake. So obviously we go to Tesco's now if their cakes there, because he's obviously not baking a cake. Let's be real, he's not. He's cooking the food, but he's not fucking baking a cake.
You said you like to bake. Why aren't you baking yourself a cool cake?
I don't want it. And he keep looking at
that's a likely story.
We keep looking at the cakes. He's like, what? So it's like an Xbox cake, a Spider-Man cake, a Peppa Pig cake, a football cake. And he's like, what cake do you want? So no, get me Peppa Pig. And he went, fuck off, I'm not one. Get me Peppa Pig for my birthday, please. Get me, because I'm imagining the visual of like, because obviously some family members might come over. Imagining like the visual, like, oh, hello, insert my father's name, hello, and then they walk in, they're like, what's that? It's Peppa Pig. No one here's a child, and I walk out like, hello.
See, the issue is like they usually don't have Daddy Pig on it, and I think that Daddy Pig slept on.
Pig.
I just think that Daddy Pig's not on the promotional material, and it's not setting a good body image standard for older men.
How would you even be that round? That's the problem. You physically.
I've seen some people. Some people are quite round.
You physically though can't be round as him. There is no physical.
I don't know. But yeah, the family's coming around. I told my mum to get a bunch of savoury shit. Because, I don't mind sweets, but, like, if you're telling me I can choose from having, like a nice, like, pack of sweets, or, like, some sausage roll, give me that sausage roll every fucking day. Like, it's much better. And give me some, like, donuts. Just, I'm not, like, honestly, at this point, I am fruit pilled. If I want something sweet, I'll eat an apple. Like, fucking does the job perfectly fine. I gave people the memo of horror shirts. Just get me some horror. Just give me some cool horror merch. Just do that. Just whatever you do. All the horror stuff I had when I was like fucking 18. I've obviously widened out since then. Like fucking, I don't fit into it well anymore. But yeah, I look forward to it. Because for a while, I kind of hated birthdays because I was just having some fucking garbage ones in there. Like when I turned 18, it was get a job, bitch. Get a fucking job. Someone get a job. Cheers, mum's partner. Fuck off. Can I just be 18 and be an adult now without you fucking telling me to get a fucking job? Get a fucking job, bitch. Sound.
And
cheers.
He's now a podcast.
I did. I did indeed. I worked at the co-op for 9 months and then had a mental breakdown. Classic me. And then obviously I was doing leather working for like 4 years. And it was just like, what's on the list today? Anything special? Well, we have got a cake, but we're not really doing anything for it. Great. Cheers, guys. What have you got? Yeah, there's just about 5 guitar straps to stain and 2 luggage straps. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. We do anything after? Nah. Well, we might order some pizzas in. Great. Cheers. I had some shit birthdays, honestly. Obviously, nothing bad, like majorly bad, happens. But for me, a birthday is supposed to be that self-indulgent day. So that's the one day of the year I actually go, okay, so make a fucking effort. Come on, please. But I've been trying to make birthdays special the last couple ones this year. Been trying to make them special. So fingers crossed. I'm already out of gift ideas. I'll be real with you. I already used up all my fucking gifts. Now I just have to find more.
I will have to buy my horror t-shirt for Christmas. That's my mind goal. I'll probably slip him 20 quid. Slip him 20 quid next week I get paid. There we go. He can buy himself a lovely KFC bucket.
Of course.
Make it 30, Piggy, so I can get the family some. Alright.
I'm the only one here, though. Food gets it. Food's here, lads! Buy 2 drinks to make it look inconspicuous. Yeah, it's just more than... It's not just me eating it. As I, like, go and sit in my room, like, tears strolling down my face, like... Yeah, this tastes great.
Finger licking God.
But no, yeah, it's been a nice change this year. We've all been making a bit more of an effort with each other, so it's been a nice one. It's just nice. It's just, you know, I'm not saying most of our family is probably autistic, but most of my family is probably autistic. We're not exactly great at thinking about prep. We're not very good at being thoughtful. We're not very good at being thoughtful. So I've been trying to buck the trend. Just like Christmas, I'm hoping Christmas will be nice and I'll actually make a big deal out of it.
I'm hoping I can just buy you a shit ton of alcohol and just get you pissed. Like last year.
Probably not. I don't want to get a beer belly after Christmas. I can't be dealing with that.
My goal is to drink at Christmas. Well, you know, drink non-alcoholic. As per usual. And still get the beer belly because I still get jiggles when I drink beer. I still get the giggles. Even if it's non-alcoholic for some reason. And they've seen me drink non-alcoholic. It's fucking something. And then obviously I do the little farty jumps. Just.
But yeah, hopefully it was a nice birthday. Hopefully nothing happened, and hopefully everything was sound.
And the main topic.
Otherwise, what else has been going on?
Should we do the main topics?
Channel-wise, not really. What are you saying?
Should we first do the main topics and then go for 30 minutes?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, so happy birthday to me. This is going to be a 90-second episode of Watching Walford. Today's episode is going to cover the biggest storylines and takeaways from week 34 of 2024. All the episodes from the 30th of September all the way to the 4th of October. The reason why it's done that is because there's like an interview with Boris Johnson on BBC that they bumped EastEnders for. Fuck off. Fuck off. Main stories are: is Junior falling for Cindy Beale? Alfie's made redundant. Bianca's going off the fucking rails trying to prove Reese's guilt. And Yolande's abuser, Pastor Clayton, commits suicide and the after effects of that. Probably a bit more of a serious topic at the end, of course, as is our customary for when serious shit happens. So we will be talking about suicide. We'll be talking about sexual abuse. That will all be talked about in this podcast.
I'll obviously give Ash the timestamp I have for when we hit that, so he can just put a little thing there. And when it's over, he can, just
put more work on my birthday week.
Mate, I've put 2 chapters in.
Yeah. How about you do it, you little bastard?
Who's editing it?
I can edit my version. Not going to, of course.
We love each other.
But yeah.
We.
At a stretch.
Alright, thanks.
We's doing a lot of heavy lifting in that one. No, it's sound. But yeah, those will be talked about later on. But as always, this is the Watching Walford podcast. The first 30 minutes that nobody watches. It's just talking about the EastEnders. No, it's not. It's just talking about it's just shooting the shit, and then 30 minutes onwards, just talking about the EastEnders. But yeah, channel updates. Not much going on. This week I've taken a bit more chill. I went at the start of the week. I was like, yeah, I'm full of beans. I'm ready to go. But I kind of very quickly went, fuck me, I'm tired. It's been a good couple of weeks since I've swapped over to writing more, and we've been doing the streams. So it's been a good while since we started doing that. So I suddenly went, oh yeah, I'm feeling really good. And then Tuesday happened. I went, oh, I'm so fucking tired. And I found myself at a Wetherspoons, had a steak and chips, and I had a beer with it. And I'm like, this will cheer me up. It did not cheer me up.
The sharp Brexit geezer sat in the chair.
I even had some wings at the end. Though the wings didn't cheer me up either. So I went back home and I watched, and I went, fuck it, Grey's Anatomy time. And I'm now in the second season. Never watched it before. It has been the right time for a show like that, where there's a lot of bulk, so there's a lot of story, and it's still pretty funny and somewhat lighthearted at times. People do die. It is a hospital drama, so people are going to die. Probably get a bit depressing at points, but it was the right thing at the right time. And I also started playing some Stardew Valley again. It's my third playthrough of the game this year. So yeah, it's fucking wild shit. How you doing, mate?
Thanks for asking. I forgot to just go, how are you doing? So there we go. Got it out of the way. I did ask him in the end. I'm doing fine. Enjoying the weekend. Obviously, we're still doing one more match stuff offside. We just don't record it live because that's when we swear and say shit we shouldn't say. Like when we recorded it at 11 o'clock at night on Wednesday, and there was a few things said that I shouldn't have said. Nothing racist or anything. Just I said something I shouldn't have said. And I was like, that's thank fuck it's not live. And I'm just preparing for Halloween and preparing for Christmas. Obviously, Halloween HQ is about to open up in my local town.
Yeah.
Where they do, I don't know if you have Halloween HQ in the UK.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
It's basically Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
It's basically that, but for Irish people.
Okay.
It's Halloween HQ where you can get costumes and shit. And I'm debating buying a costume for the podcast because I like dressing up for the Halloween podcast. We have to figure out when the Halloween podcast is, and maybe we might do a spooky intro for it, maybe not.
I mean, I know exactly what my Halloween costume would be.
It's the same as last year, is it?
No. I get a different one.
You actually gonna buy one?
Maybe.
I can't wait till the day shows up and he's just like, I've bought a Halloween costume. Walks in his normal clothes. See? I told you. I bought one. I was either going to buy that or buy the Uncle Bobby mask, but I don't know which one I'll buy.
Who?
Do you know that guy, the guy who did all the ooh la la dances that I sent?
Yeah.
He used to wear, he wears an Uncle Bobby mask. That's to hide his face. You can see his mouth, but you can't see his like eyes or nose. So yeah, I'm also just thinking of life, just in general. Weird thing happened on Wednesday, where me and my dad were just talking about religion because my dad he's a religious man, but he respects me for not being religious, and it was very weird because just talking, and then I went into my room, and I went back into the kitchen, and he just turns to me and goes, "So now, just a question, son. If we were supposed to be born in God's eye, which is straight, if it is straight, wouldn't life just be boring? Because you'd have to get married, you'd have to have kids, and you have to be straight. Wouldn't life just be boring? Because there'd be no other characters in the world." And I'm like, for fucking hell, Dad, Jesus Christ! Like just being like, wouldn't it be boring? And I'm like, holy shit! I'm just sat there like, oh Jesus, fucking depressed, like.
I mean, straight people are interesting too.
Yeah, no, but I guess he means in the sense there would be no other characters in the world.
I mean, there would still be characters, but yeah, it would be really odd if it was just everybody like the same sort of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But in most situations, there are generally the people who stand out from the rest. Like humans are fucking wild in that sense, where at the end of the day, we're all different in a different way. Like my fucking brain is wired differently, and that's just something I got to live with because I don't fucking know why. It's variation happens in all species.
Yeah, and it's just that's what we were just discussing. Cause he was just like having a talk with me about life, and I was like, all right, fair enough. And we were talking about the Watching Walford budget. How he wants to know how much income he will get for being the first subscriber, and I told him 5p, and he went fuck off. Fuck off! I don't want 5p.
And he says 5p a video. Yeah, not fucking quite, mate.
6p per video.
That'd be about 30 quid. Probably. I don't know. I'm bad at maths. Probably not.
30 quid. Yeah. How about 1p per video, Dad? No.
I mean, if we ever get like giga rich, I'm sharing that about. You know what I'm saying? Like fucking. I'm not saying there's going to be a bunch of nepotism hires. But I'm like, bloody hell, brothers! You guys can edit a video a month and you'll get this fat salary. Sound.
Just thinking, like, if Watching Walford becoming successful, it's always funny. As like the money would not be spent. Even ask, be like, right, who's been in all the solo videos this month? Me.
Start tallying up the fucking the video essay money. Well, I did also get a sponsor as well, so. No, I mean, I assume the obvious. I mean, the obvious goal is to eventually be able to make actual money doing this.
Yeah.
Not like we're like fucking gripping it for money because we're fine. Like we're not fucking struggling particularly. But obviously, if we could make this our like livelihood, it would still be a cool thing to be able to do. Get like a title sponsor. So yeah, just give us you get 4 episodes a month. Get this flat fee. Sound. Cheers. Like, I'd fucking happily do that.
I just have asked to all this shilling, so I can just be sat here. Right.
You know, it's not. I doubt there'd be much because I don't really know what the demographic for fucking soap viewers are. Like, I don't exactly know what we'd sell to people, but yeah.
This video is sponsored by Manscaped. Shave your bush like George W. Bush.
But that, you know, I'd do that eventually. At some point, hopefully the Twitch pops off. We get a bunch of people watching us do shit live. That'd be cool. So, I don't know, just making steps towards future-proofing the channel a little bit more. Obviously, nothing will change. We still got a pretty fucking. We get everything we want to do done. Like I said, it'll just be interesting to see if I end up actually finishing these video essays and if they actually go anywhere. Because I feel like if anything's the ticket, it feels like the video essay type videos are the ticket.
Yeah.
For me.
Then
obviously they attract attention for the rest of the shit.
I just plan to be here, do my own stuff. This is the Reddit and the podcast. That's me. That's my appearances per month. I will appear in solo videos if I have to. If I'm contracted to, basically. All that has to be said is, can you be in this segment? Sure, why not? I'm open. Like if people need me in a segment or anything, I'll do it. I'm gonna be like that. Who the fuck was that? Like comedian or actor who just was in everything because they're like, we're just gonna pay you shitloads, and he's just in everything.
What, Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. But it's just like, we want you to be in Manscaped videos. Alright, fair. We want you to be in like this movie. Fair. We want you to do this one scene. Fair. Like just fucking whatever people ask me.
I mean, he was in debt.
I mean, true.
He did need the money.
He did buy all those
castles. He thought a
castles.
really good idea was to buy castles and sell them on. Like who's in the castle market? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I really need to spruce up my life? A fucking prehistoric Castle. Yep, sound. Like, fucking dickhead. But yeah, not much to report, honestly. Like I said, I took this all pretty. I wasn't intending on taking a break this week, but I quickly realised that I was out of fucking juice. So there's refuel with some greys, which has been a really fun time. And it's also grass mowing day, which is I'm not looking forward to, because it's a ball lake, but it's the first time it's not rained in consecutive days in about 2 months. So I gotta take the opportunity whilst it's there.
I'm going back and rewatching. Obviously, there was a stable in TNA. TNA is a wrestling company in the mid 2000s. So that was basically made by Jeff Jarrett because he stood up to Vince McMahon in '99 and went, "Pay me a shit ton of money, or else I'm not dropping this belt." And Vince went, "Oh, all right, I'm gonna do it." But then, you know what? You're fired. And you can't fire me. I quit. So they paid him a shit ton of money. Then WCW folded. Vince McMahon fired him on live TV, and he started TNA, obviously. And he partnered with NWA for a few years until that soured, and they went, "We're just TNA now." But yeah, I'm going back and rewatching because TNA uploaded a thing called "Reliving the Past" or something like that. And it's all the paparazzi production stuff. It was a stable between WCW/WWF superstar Kevin Nash, multi-time world champion, and his protege Alex Shelley, who was just an indie wrestler at the time. He was just like in your indie companies, and TNA was his main platform basically. And people described it as like the hung twink versus like with his jock best mate. Because I don't know why people just fancied Alex Shelley. He was a sexy man, to be fair. And I'm just rewatching all of that. I'm sad because they cut out one of my favorite segments on the compilation. Well, no, they don't cut it. They cut out the joke at the end. There's a scene where Nash is obviously in the bathroom, and he's obviously being a judge, and the whole joke is at the end. Alex Shelley asks for an appeal, and the camera pans to Nash's back, and it pans down to his ass, and then "Numb" by Linkin Park plays, and they cut it off the compilation. I understand it probably would have got demonetized. Fuck's sake, could have blurred it. Yeah. It's just because "Numb" plays at the end. Why the fuck does Linkin Park's "Numb" play?
You're the phone house, mate.
But I'm going back watching that and I'm having fun. I've downloaded some of TNA 2006 onto my hard drive because it's uploaded somewhere. I'm not going to say where, and you can pretty much find it online. Also found some people just dumping like WWE Network stuff, and I'm like, holy shit. And obviously titling it differently so it doesn't get claimed. Like, holy fucking hell.
They start dumping WWE CW. That'd be quite nice.
You could probably find it somewhere.
Probably.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
It was the mid 2000s. You know, someone's uploaded it somewhere.
But yeah, not real changes, honestly. Like I said, if you do want to support the channel, we are obviously on Twitch twice a week, streaming the Reddit videos when we record them, watching a Christmas episode live, and actually showing it on screen because Twitch doesn't really give a shit about copyright. And then on the Thursday, it's the live podcast. So if you do want to actually see what we're doing, you want to chat with us live, go over to the Twitch channel. There's links in the description. Some would say it's the future.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this so far. 2 weeks in, or a weekend. I guess I don't know how long it's been. I've been enjoying it.
I think this is the second week.
And yeah, I've been slowly editing the podcast 2013 for Christmas. I've this weird method where like if a funny clip happens but it goes over the second limit that you're supposed to show on screen, I fucking just freeze frame the clip and I just unfreeze it. I get a second version of it, unfreeze it, crop it so it's only the cameras. So the cameras are slightly high up because I don't really know the diameters of the fucking height of the cameras and shit. And I'm not going to spend like 5 hours getting a measuring tape out like fucking, alright, here we go. So if that does annoy you, that sometimes it'll just be normal, this normal Reddit overlay with the two cameras up, and then you cut to it and it's slightly higher up, I'm sorry, but that's just the way I'm doing it. Ash will obviously do all the zoom in, zooms out. I've done some zoom in, zoom outs, but I've done it where I've cropped the camera and I've put a background on it. So it's a Christmas background. So it's just our two cameras and you get the audio, but it's just, I'll show Ash off camera. I've been enjoying it. I'm looking forward to doing it. I'm gonna slowly work on it. I'm not gonna like really force myself. And
Yeah.
if I get some done, that's all that matters. Just lightens the load for Ash. Ash just like do all of them. Go on, big boy. Also, what I've been loving
The
is
amount of like editing that I'm gonna have to do for Christmas is probably gonna be quite absurd.
what also I do love about Ash is when he streams now. So like when someone joins, like me, he goes, "Hey, big boy!" Like it's his new favorite word to say to the streamer when they join. Hey, big boy. I was a hanging big boy. And like,
Hello, big boy. Why am I saying big boy? It's because of you, where you do that Mike Tyson shit impression.
what?
Sign the contract, big boy. Something like that.
Sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. So fuck. It's the one clip I see whenever like someone's like, this football player to sign to this team, and then they cut to the Mike Tyson clip. Like, sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. It's fucking Jesus. The one clip that always plays. Like obviously there was a war. Like someone was saying that this country's going to go to state war. Another country. I'm not going to say the countries, because I don't want to. And so someone put like a footballer being sad, like October 13 sent out to fight in the war. October 14, 2025, GTA 6 releases. And it's just like, where is my mind by the Pixies? And I'm like, I love that. I love that people, even when like serious shit is about to happen, people are like, I'm gonna just make fun of it.
I kind of do, but I kind of don't, because some of it is a bit much.
Yeah, I understand if it's a national tragedy, it's a bit much. But if it's like, we might be going to war, and then someone just obviously does like, we get war before GTA 6, I'm like, okay, that is funny for the first few times. And obviously, one I forgot to bring up last week is Keir Starmer was doing a speech, and he missaid, he was supposed to say we will free the hostages, but he somehow fucked up, and he said we are gonna free the sausages, which has led to my favourite Max and Paddy's Road to Nowhere clip being found again by people, which is the man outside the cafe being like, Russia, no you're not. And he pulls out a gun, and he's like, get that fucking cooker on. It's one of my favourite clips. That's one I quote all the time. She's like, get that fucking cooker on, boy. So that's how he says it. He says cooker.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I've been enjoying. That's all really.
We have about 1.5 minutes left before we cut off. Yeah, not very much else, honestly. It's I know I've been saying this for like the last couple of podcasts, but I am genuinely quite happy where this channel's going in a sense. I think the addition of the Hollyoaks stuff has added a nice little like kind of buffer towards me actually doing like shit myself and like actually kind of, you know, figuring out how I want to do solo stuff. The writing is very gradually getting there, and eventually I'll hope to actually get videos out relatively monthly. You know, or if I particularly get the bug for it, potentially like bi-weekly. But you know, it's nice. It's good progression. I'm doing all the shit that I said I was gonna do and more. So I've been enjoying it so far, even if it is a lot more tiring than it probably should be. But you know, we're getting there.
And I think it's tomorrow. One of my favourite videos we've recorded for this channel comes out tomorrow. That's right. It's the EastEnders scandals.
No, that's Monday.
Yeah, that's why I said tomorrow, which is Monday.
Oh yes, tomorrow. Fantastic.
Unless you are watching this before then yes, it's out Monday.
Yeah, that would be our one member, Belinda Slater. Love you, legend.
Yeah. Even though they'll probably piss.
They don't watch this ahead of time.
No one does. No one even watches this podcast. It's just us talking about the EastEnders, and that's all we're here for.
Yeah, and speaking of which, time to talk about the EastEnders. The main topics are, once again, is Junior falling for Cindy Beale? Alfie's made redundant, Bianca's going off the rails trying to prove Reese's guilt. And finally, the serious topic that being Yolande's abuser, Pastor Clayton, commits suicide. That'll be the serious topic, but we'll kind of rattle through the rest of it as normal, as it's mostly tongue-in-cheek. Is Junior falling for Cindy Beale? When talking to Anna, Anna says she's been keeping a low profile. Freddie wants to make things up with her, and they agree to see each other more as mates, because for some reason, Anna, despite kissing Freddie, is like, no, bloody hell, I'm not interested. I just want to be friends with you. And they both clearly like each other. But also, they are they're just not doing anything with it, because it's going to be a slow burn. You know, maybe this one will be the love story that happens. When Ian sees Freddie and Anna together, he explains that Bobby's gotten settled and is living his best life now he isn't saddled with her. Bang a line. Cindy yells at Ian for speaking to her daughter like that and just screams at him because fuck you, Ian, dickhead, hate you, Ian. Cindy, probably. I'm also sleeping with my husband's stepson, or son, rather. So.
Yeah, but that logic makes no sense in times. I understand he's yelling abuse at her daughter, but like her daughter did break son's heart. And I don't give a shit if people go, but Bobby's a murderer. I don't give a shit. That doesn't excuse the fact that he's confessed to his sins. He's confessed. He's regretted it. Don't break that man's heart. Bobby Beale is a sweetheart. I love Bobby.
He is a sweetheart.
I'd be afraid of him, but I would.
I wouldn't be afraid of him. I saw him punch Freddie.
I
could chin him.
Okay, Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking him.
I wouldn't need to. He's a sweetheart, but I could chin him.
I'm just imagining him going back in time doing the Foo Fighters like music video, like of My Hero, running into the Beale's house when he hits.
I'm Lucy's biggest fan. Come here, Bobby.
There goes my. He goes. He just runs.
Some of that, you little bastards.
There goes my.
You want to hit women in the head with a music box, does ya? Fucking smash. Exactly, chin him.
I don't know why that's funny. It's just imagining you falling over the set.
He'd be traumatized for life.
Who's this big?
She says
man?
Anna deserved better things to be knocked up by a guy who got her knocked up at 22. Oh, bloody hell. I wonder who did that. It's Ian, isn't it? Ian and Cindy. She got knocked up at 22, probably. I didn't fact check it, but let's be honest. That's what they were saying. She messages Junior and wants to shag. Ian knocks on the door just after they finish shagging. He has to hide under the tables, and Ian needs to know why she's there. Ian sits at the table where Junior is hiding, and they manage to find the common ground. He doesn't want to leave, threatens to stay there all night as Junior slides out from the seats, but this leaves him locked in. She has to leave sleeping Ian to let him escape, and they both agree to find a newer place to fuck because it got a little bit too close. And Ian has seemingly been floating the idea of getting remarried, which is going to be funny. I can't wait for Ian to propose at Christmas and Cindy knocks him back. Not a prediction, by the way. I get all my predictions correct, like Vinny dying. See ya, Vinny.
Asshole.
Junior offers the idea to... Junior says to Anna, like, look, if you don't want the attention, you could just sneak around with Freddie. And she's like, what, like an affair? Not doing that. She figures it's no way to start a relationship, but he chimes in, you can't help who you fall in love with. And bloody hell, guess who predicted that Junior was going to fall head over heels for Cindy? It was me. I fucking done it. I fucking nailed it again. And it's coming true. Junior's enrolled Cindy in a bookkeeping course, and they're excited for the excuse to fuck around. When Junior asks if she wants to go and eat food, she figures it's best to keep their activities in the hotel room. And he's like, yeah, it's fine. Wasn't even that interested anyways. Fucking bitch. Nah, he just goes, yeah, it's sound.
I didn't want that Big Mac and chips. Fuck off.
So will Junior fall deeply in love with Cindy?
Oh, right. Yes, yeah, he will probably fall in love. I loved Ian. I'm starting to love Ian again. I can't hate him. Except for that time period where he was a massive nuisance. But I just can't hate him. He's a lovely character. Like, I don't want his heart broken. I don't want it. He needs someone who will love him for the end. And I am offering my condolences to Ian Deal when his heart gets broken. Ian, I am here for you. You are not
I'll
alone.
comfort him.
You are not alone, Ian. I am here with you.
Exactly.
Oh, you're far away. You're always in my heart.
But yeah, so I said before, and I'll make this prediction 100%. Junior will fall madly in love with Cindy, and Cindy won't love him back because she wants her cake and she wants to eat it too. Like, she's already seeing both Ian and Junior at the same time, so she's gonna break his little heart. And probably at George and Elaine's wedding, if I had to guess. But yeah, Alfie made redundant. Alfie, Tommy, and the kids are rattled by Kat noticing they're late. He has to shut down the bookies early in order to take care of Tommy, who's still acting up. I like how everybody went, wasn't this supposed to be a summer storyline? It's announced in the summer. It started in summer. They just forgotten about the storyline. No, they're still doing it. They're still doing it, guys. Vani and Nugget are profiling who they want to hire for the Minute Mark. They believe they have to hold the interviews. Alfie tries his best to discipline Tommy and show him some respect, but Freddie interrupts us and completely derails the chat. Alfie asks him to drop this hard man act, but is interrupted further by Olga, wondering why the bookies is shut early. It's also him being like, Tommy, you got to take responsibility, man. Oh, Olga, why is it shut? Oh, bloody hell. I left the iron on. Fuck. I'm cutting out. It's like, all right, fucking practice what you preach, you dickhead. Which is basically how Tommy responds. Olga calls Alfie a liability, but she fires him on the spot. Kat lashes out at Alfie, as he admits he's lost the bookie's job. Tommy pipes up and shouts at Kat, but Tommy says he loves her, but he doesn't really mean it. He doesn't mean it at all. It's like, yeah, I love you. So what? Let's say it up. And fuck it, I fucking said it, alright? Don't fucking ask me again. Kat feels desperate and rings Ricky to speak about Bianca. See that? Our man Ricky. Man like Ricky.
Wasn't a music video, Good Old Sit On, where he basically played filmmaker.
Good thing going. His Jamaican hit.
No, not that one. He was actually in a music video recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what the song was, but he was in like a Korean boy band like fucking music video where he just played a hard man. It was fucking funny. I don't know where the fuck I found it, but it was on Sid Owen's Instagram story. I genuinely could not stop laughing for a solid 5 minutes because he's in the most ghetto outfit possible. Like, he is trying to do his best Phil Mitchell impression, and it is so funny. Because he's trying to be a hard man, basically. I just couldn't stop laughing.
And he's just got that vacant look on his face at all times, so...
Yeah.
It's hard to be a hard man when you... It'd be like me trying to look like a hard man. Like, it's just not happening, is it? I'm just not very... I don't know if I look friendly, necessarily, but... I don't think I look welcoming. I just look a bit fed up.
We all look a bit fed
up. Tommy helps Alfie search for a job at the Minute Mark, but then is overhearing but Tommy helps Alfie and is nice for a second, but then is really kind of like harsh to Bert and Ernie. It's like, don't you fuck up. You know, the old your dad about to pull out the belt. Like, this is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Oh god. Yeah, all right, Sam, that's reasonable. That's a joke. That's a Shaun of the Dead joke for sure. Alfie's being interviewed by the owners of the Minute Mark, Avani and Nugget, and they're doing the funny bit where they're trying to act older than they are and trying to be like, yes, we are professional, serious businessmen. But they don't actually show it. I would have loved to have seen the actual interview of this, because they're both very good. They're both very strong actors, and I like them in their roles. But yeah, we are older than we are. We are businessmen. Alfie's like, what? You really? What the fuck? You guys for real? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Just good fun. Alfie seemingly gets the interview and is leaving to do a management course for 2 weeks in Birmingham, and they say something about rebranding, which would make sense why the colour of the Minute Mart is going to change. There we are. Nice to see Alfie getting some stuff done.
Yeah.
Is his cancer going to relapse? Is that a thing that people have been saying?
No, he's going to get erectile dysfunction.
Oh, yeah, fuck him. Who's he shagging anyways?
Cat.
You don't know that yet.
It's probably happening, let's be real, and
They will. It definitely will. But
and I'm sad because I don't want that.
I don't want that either. But yeah, there we are. That's the Alfie stuff. Bianca's going off the rails trying to prove Reese's guilt. She's trying to act like she has a united front to Reese. In the end, she brings him food and believes that after Sonia's plea hearing, they'll be one step closer to getting her out. At the trial, she's seemingly put in prison till Christmas at least. Reese gets a letter and looks put out by it as Bianca is calling Carol, explaining how Sonia is still stuck inside prison. Excuse me. At the trial, he lies about the letter and Bianca wants to know what it is, and Kat advises her to give Reese some slack, but Bianca is persistent. Reese claims she'll stay out of his business as long as he is honest, but she jumps at the chance to read the letter and reveals that the life insurance policy isn't viable. And yeah, so Reese isn't getting the fucking money, is he?
No.
He's fucked it. He's fucked it proper. That was going to solve all his problems. He's not getting the fucking money.
Did you imagine he gets it, but it's like a pound and a Freddo. That's all you get.
And then we get the Debbie and Hugh arrive with a woman who's going to read the will. Debbie wants all her estate divided between multiple charities, but in the event that her mother and father survived her, Hugh and Debbie have been made full beneficiaries. Reese is shocked as they'd planned to leave everything to each other, but a week before her stroke, she amended the will. So Reese has been stripped of everything that he thought he had, and all he is getting is an antique dollhouse saying, I hate that dusty thing, it gives me the creeps. So now with this being said, there's genuine reason to suggest that Reese could have caused the accident. Which is interest. Obviously, people were predicting it from the start, but I like to go on shit that we can actually prove. Now there's actual reason to believe maybe Reese did do this.
I'd like to believe. See, it's funny because I can't imagine him being like this killer ass character. Like I can't imagine him being a Great Atkins. Like I can imagine him being Dick Dastardly levels of a villain, but he's just comedic. Yeah. But I feel like he's an accidental murderer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like
he does.
Yeah, in the same way, and that's why it's kind of an interesting take of it, because it's not the Grey Atkins. I am just evil. It is. I am a coward who's put myself in a pretty rough position, and I've snapped essentially, and that's kind of how Reese is. He's been pushed too far, and he's made some stupid decisions, and now he's too cowardly to face up to the consequences.
It's the fact, like, I don't mind Reese. I got to see my boy Hugh. He was very sad in some scenes.
Hugh, yeah.
Yeah, Hugh. He was very sad in some scenes, but don't worry, Hugh. The fan club's still open for you, brother. The fan club will always be open for you. You're always welcome in. But Reese. I feel like Reese's actions. He doesn't mean what he does. He does them accidentally. Well, except killing his wife, but he does them accidentally. Like, does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
It's I describe it as you're an accidental murderer if you somehow slipped and stabbed your best friend in the heart with a knife. Like, you accidentally did it. You didn't mean to do it. You're not a killer. You accidentally killed him. So that's how I describe it. I think like they might show him being a bit more violent, Debbie.
Yeah.
I'd love them to do. I don't want a full flashback episode because Reese doesn't deserve that. No offense to Johnny Freeman, he's brilliant.
He does not deserve it. The character's not that great.
But I would love to see a flashback scene where we see Debbie and like Reese's marriage, like what happened between them.
Yeah.
Because it would
Yeah,
be
no,
interesting.
I think it would be interesting.
I don't mind because Word's painting 1,000 pictures, but I wouldn't mind like showing it because then you can be like, oh, he is this evil bastard. Instead, because all we're seeing currently is him cowering in the corner, and then doing the Phil Mitchell when Bianca yells and going, doing that. Like I love that. That's the trope in soaps that like I know you're not supposed to laugh at, but it's the one trope in soap I love is just fucking doing that. Like, but again,
just him having a panic attack, you know. You say it's a trope in soap, but it's just how it works.
It is how it works, but it is funny how like they kind of hammer it up in a sense.
I mean, yeah, they got to.
But again, Reese, it's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I'm hoping, spoiler, David returned in Thursday's episode. At the Duff. So it's going to be interesting to see where this goes. Necessarily,
I just hope it's over by Christmas. I don't think it will.
It probably will be. Let's be real.
Like, I don't know. It's just I think I'd imagine that Sonia. I'd imagine Sonia gets out at Christmas, and is finally like turned on Reese. And then it kind of, I imagine he's kind of there till she has the baby, and maybe he'll try kidnap the baby or something.
Or he just fucks off.
Yeah, but there's got to be something. But it's a more interesting angle for the character. I do agree, though. It's I'm like, I was one of the guys who said back when Reese was actually still funny. I was like, I bet Reese is going to be here for 20 years. He's not. He's definitely not. But yeah. Reese insists that it must be wrong that he and Debbie had a happy marriage. Brenda says, if you don't know why she was tired of you, she was bored of you and your little ways. It proves that he took so much from her over the years, and she wanted to make damn sure that he couldn't take anything else. Brenda and Hugh are trying to stomach food, and Bianca shows up and proclaims her conspiracy theories. She wants to know more about Debbie and Reese's relationship. They both seem to believe that Reese and Debbie are on the outs in closer divorce. Debbie never cared about the money, but Reese did. Brenda explains how if she could turn the clock back, she would have gotten Debbie out of there so far back and take her out of that situation. She'll let her daughter down, and she'll never forget it. Pretty good scenes. She also just showed up in Doctor Who for me, so I was like, what the fuck? That's her. Yeah, Brenda. She showed up in Doctor Who, the mad bastard.
And obviously used 20 seconds of scenes. He obviously went, I'm going to the car. Just call me when you're done.
Yeah.
You is fed up. I know I'm saying you wrong. I'm saying UGH, but that's how I pronounce it.
I mean, I specifically say the H just because I know my accent doesn't really allow the H's naturally. So.
It doesn't really work.
I don't want to be like I don't want to be me against my dad doing spelling tests. It's art. I'm like, yeah, A-R-T, art. He's like, no, it's art. Yeah, art, A-R-T. And then Mum just goes, heart. I'm like, why didn't you just say the H?
Yeah.
Oh, bus. Yeah, buzz. All right. B-U-Z-Z. No, it's wrong. Buzz. And he's like, you mean bus, don't you? Mum, just take the fucking book, please. Because this accent doesn't really do H's at all. Don't know where the fuck buzz came from. Don't know where that came from, but
God pronounce B's either. He's saying hitch. He's saying itch instead of bitch.
That's not even allowing that joke to exist. Terrible. Kat's terrified about Bianca's health. She wants to focus on herself. She has snuffed out Bianca's motive, and Kat's believes she's gone manic like Jean and Stacey. Okay, so you know we did that video where we said that people weren't treating Bianca like she's mental.
Yeah.
And now they are actually treating Bianca like she is very unwell.
Yeah.
That video didn't age well. That video did not age well because they are treating her like she is losing her mind when she is. I mean, I think she is still to some extent. Like, the depression has to be wreaking havoc with her actions, but still, like, I don't know, man. I feel a bit bad for mocking everybody for saying that they're treating her like she's a maniac.
2000.
But I don't, because fuck it. Nobody will watch the video anyway, so it'll be fine. Yeah, sure. She's going to use Freddy's little recorder and force a confession out of Reese. She sets up the recorder and prepares the scene. Bianca tries to act like she's on Reese's side. She figures out it's time and tempts Reese with vodka, and she apologizes to him. She pries even further and wants to know about his and Debbie's relationship. She struggles to find the angle and calls Debbie heartless, which upsets him. Round 2 as she figures her angle. She says, "You know what, if they don't believe you, Sodom." He drops that Sonia was willing to sell the house. And he says real love isn't cutting your husband out of the will. He was married to Debbie for 10 years and has nothing to show for it. She mentions the life insurance and he explains that the police put a stop to it. But Freddie rattles Bianca's plan and her plan is exposed to Reese. He nearly corks it and has a panic attack, but she calls him a murderer and so she won't stop till everybody believes her. Fucking Freddie, fuck off. Fucking record it on your phone, you melt. Fucking do. Bianca's busy. Jesus.
All right, calm down. I mean, she wasn't gonna get a confession out of him.
Yeah, no, she wasn't.
Let's be real.
But I wanted one. I wanted there to be one.
You killed my sister. No, I didn't. Yes, you did.
She wakes up in the taco truck and continues to spout off about Reese. People keep telling her she's rotten, and Bianca screams at Reese once again, and he finally snaps, saying, "I'm warning you." Freddie tries to imply that Bianca is ADHD, and she wants her to think about it for just 1 second, but denies it entirely. Kat frantically calls someone else and says that Bianca's going off the rails, so you need to get here and sort it out, as she just keeps declining the calls from Ricky.
I want to interrupt this for a second. You know, he says, "I'm warning you." You remember Neil's dad in Betweeners, who supposedly it's implied he's gay?
What do you mean? It's implied he's gay. It's the whole joke.
I'm just imagining where he's doing that, but he's
it's like that video where it's like, "And Ron may have fallen," as he's like fucking skidding across the fucking road.
But it's just I can't think of it. But I'm just thinking of Neil's dad. "I'm warning you, Neil. I'm warning you." Just fucking like what are you going to do?
Not very convincing now.
What are you going to do, Reese? I'm warning him. I'm fucking warning you. I'm gonna call Sonia, and she's gonna say something to Bianca immediately.
Bianca shows up erratic with a bunch of bibs, but they all hate it, so she dispatches with Penny's bottle of wine. She shows up drunk in the pub, demeaning Kojo, who has just pulled his first pint, so Junior and the Knights get rid of her. She's dead. No, she just gets outside. She falls into a bunch of bin bags, but not as a big old suited and booted man gets out of the car. It's David. David fucking Wicks. He's back.
I brought this up to Ash off camera. The only thing that doesn't make sense about this return is Bianca doesn't have contact to David, but Ricky fucking does.
Yeah.
Which, how does Ricky hasn't been shagging her in years? How the fuck are they just best friends who go like hiking every Tuesday and out back, like, what the fuck, like, just you could hop on a quick flight to Spain, go hiking in the desert.
He's in Germany.
Yeah, no, but didn't David live in Spain?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what David's been doing. I mean, it makes a bunch of sense that David wouldn't really be in contact with Bianca because he's a shit dad and doesn't really put his kids first. So, it probably makes sense.
I'm looking forward.
I assume after David left Carol high and dry, she went, "Fuck this dickhead."
I'm surprised, because I thought they were actually, like how in Spider-Man No Way Home they did want to show the Spider-Man, so they edited them out. I thought they did that with fucking Carol, where they edited her out in the photos. But no, she's actually not there. I thought she was going to be actually there, and it was all a swerve. Like she was going to be with David. I was convinced They were like
I mean, we
pulling.
did get a Carol mention. Bianca was talking to Carol. Someone noticed the other day that so when Teddy said, "Oh, it's a mate who does classics," and he obviously called his mate Dave, which could have easily been David Wicks. Could have been an easy little clue. Oh, not well, obviously we all knew. I don't remember how long it's been since this news came out. It's been a while, so we all knew it was happening. But yeah, David Wicks is back. He's the thumbnail. Cheers for the clickbait, David Wicks. Thank you very much. And finally, let's get to the serious topic. That being Yolande's abuser, Pastor Clayton, commit suicide.
Just put 56 minutes, and I'll give you the timestamp when you're finished.
Yeah, sound. All right, so let's get into it. They want to collect for the Harvest Festival, but Yolande doesn't feel like she can handle it. The detective inspector arrives at Patrick and Yolande's, and they reveal that another victim has come forward. They truly believe they have a strong case against Pastor Clayton. Yolande doesn't feel like there's any good in this news, knowing another woman has been harassed. And she starts to feel a little bit better when she visits and helps Amy feel a little bit better about being rolled through the square. Amy makes her feel more confident about going to the Harvest Festival and facing it. Levi welcomes Yolande back to the prayer group, and it's really welcoming. Agatha tries to welcome Yolande back, but she apologizes for the allegations that she started between her and the pastor. However, the pastor's wife Stella shows up and insists on them having a chat about the allegations. Stella says they're ruining his life and believes that the people are envious of the pastor's position. She claims these women are sheep, and if she retracts her statement, maybe they will do the same. Stella believes it's just a witch hunt for a good man, and Yolande reveals the truth of how he coerced Yolande. He targeted her, and he violated her. She claims that the pastor must have made a fool out of her too, using their marriage as an excuse. When Yolande asks if she thinks they have been silent for long enough, Stella is pushed to a breaking point, and it dawns on her that Yolande may be right, and she apologizes to her. And obviously this is to show that Stella, she's not a bad person, but she has been sorely misled by the pastor, who is taking no responsibility for these actions.
Yep.
Which is, as the pastor abused his position of power, I wouldn't it's not really a shock to imagine that you would have kind of coerced his wife into believing him above everyone else because he is a man of God and he wouldn't do anything like that, etc., etc. When Yolande has been making food, Pastor Clayton makes an appearance. He shows up at the Fox Truman's house, claiming he's not going anywhere and that she's been running her mouth. He is confronting her, as after Stella met with her, she started packing her things and started leaving the house. Clayton plays the victim and believes she has taken everything away from him. He calls her vindictive. Yolande says she's lived her whole life trying to keep hate out of her heart. He tries to manipulate her into retracting her statement. He emotionally blackmails her to try and reinstate him in the community. He desperately tries to cling on to the idea that he is innocent. She goes to call the police, but he takes her phone away. This while Kim and Howie are trying to get Patrick to stay for another drink. The pastor decides she has to be clear and the pastor decides for Yolande that she has to be clear and definitive about changing her statement. But she laughs at him. She calls him delusional. She says God is nothing but a cover for you. She calls him an abomination in the sight of God, and Yolande explains how he corrupted her. Her view of her body, her relationship with Patrick, and brands him a coward and wants him to admit what he did to her and all of the other women. She wants him to admit, but before he can, Denzel shows up and interrupts it. This being said, the pastor was pretty much at breaking point. It felt like there was a chance here that he may have actually kind of crumbled and kind of let the facade go. But obviously Denzel arrived and it interrupted it.
I mean, I was genuinely shocked for a second because I thought like he was gonna smack Yolanda or some shit. Like genuinely, I was like, compared to Reese, Pastor Clayton, I don't know if it's just the actor, but he does an amazing job of putting the fears in you. Like,
yeah.
the
The actor has done a good job at especially because he is in that position of power and because of the abuse. Like, she is terrified of him. Like, they do a good job of showing how much damage he caused.
But the one thing I will say is he has given me a new quote that I can use, which is "You've been running that damn mouth of yours." Not a good one, but the way he
You what?
says it, he's given me a new quote that I can put with the "You stupid women," which is "You've been running that damn mouth of yours," which, not when you use
Oh
it,
yeah,
not when you use often because of the scene, but just when
yeah,
Ash starts going, "Guess who's a fat chubby wubby bubby? It's you, Piggy," and then it's like, "You've been running that damn mouth of yours." Yeah, obviously we're
yeah.
going to just very seriously going to continue this. I'm sorry for that. Continue.
That's fair enough. Where is that? Oh, the family get back and feel proud of Yolande for handling the pasta. Patrick and Yolande are proud of them handling it, but knocking on the door, it's the police, and they have bad news. After the confrontation, Pastor Clayton has committed suicide. He has ended his own life. Excuse me. The family reel from this news, and Yolanda explains how he was here demanding she retract her statement. She wants to be on her own, and she's struggling to comprehend the death. She worries that she doesn't feel like she can pray for the pastor, but if she can, maybe she can heal. She can't sleep and finds herself being visited by Stella, who apologizes to her and admits she believed in Clayton like she believed in God. And she worries if she can still call herself a woman of faith. She tells Stella that she is not to be blamed, and then she proceeds to pull out her phone and acknowledges the pastor left her a voice message that she couldn't open alone. In the message, Pastor Clayton does not admit to the allegations and maintains the stance that he is innocent. And when Patrick comforts her, Yolanda realizes that she will never get to hear his confession. She'll never get closure from hearing him acknowledge what he did to her. And okay, so now just to wrap this round though, as it has been a bit of a contentious point in soap currently, as there has been multiple abusers in pretty much all the soaps that haven't seemed to face justice yet. A lot of these abusers haven't actually had their comeuppance, and a lot of these victims haven't really been able to have the closure. When this storyline was announced and when the storyline was done, we did say that because they set up multiple victims and showed he was a serial offender, I'm pretty sure, or at least I was definitely on the record by saying, because they've set it up so much with all these extra victims, it feels like in the end he will be caught and imprisoned. And I did say it would be a massive shame had he not have received any comeuppance for his actions. Now, this isn't how this went down. And especially considering there's no other real abusers in soap currently who are actually paying for their actions, it's probably not the best message to send out there. But I think also that there's typically a big problem with this stuff actually being proved or actually being treated with how serious it actually is. So the unfortunate fact of the matter is most victims never really get their justice. And I think that obviously it's fucked up. It shouldn't be a thing. And there should really be an overhaul of how these cases are dealt with. But most of the abusers are too much of a coward to ever admit what they've done. And as much as this may not have been the outcome that we would have wanted for this story, it's still an outcome that probably would happen in a real life scenario. That's my take on it, I guess.
I'm not going to have the camera on me. I'd rather have it on two people because this is a serious thing. And if I mess up speaking, at least I can look at Ash and then he can be like, "Just stop, Piggy, before you dig a hole." But what I want to say is, the way I describe this, it's you either do the American way or the British way. Because the American way of like shows like this, they would have the outcome be they get justice. You know, they all go for a few points in the Winchester and wait for everything to blow over. Shaun of the Dead reference. Whereas in the UK, typically in comedy and in all these shows, they show that life is just shit, and
They try to go for the bleak realism, I guess, isn't it?
yeah,
Is a way
well,
to say it.
yeah, because if you look at the main, I know I'm making it about a comedy, but the great comparison I can make is if you look at The Office UK, it's realism. It's like work in an office. David Brent's trying to fit in. But if you look at the US office, like, hey guys, how's it going? How's it going? Because if you look at it, the realism is most people don't get justice because there's too many false allegations. Because people put in false allegations and that muckies the system. And then you have people who have real allegations that muckies the system because it's hard to tell what's real and what's not. And sometimes the people who are real don't get the justice. They don't get the justice they deserve. Because if the abuser should rot in prison, they don't get it, and it's just shameful. But if you're showing that in soaps, it's the correct thing because not everyone gets justice. Not every I know that's a weird stance, but not every person gets justice. Not every person, gets the right to finally stand over their abuser and be like, I fucking got him.
I mean, it's the one thing where not many people actually get closure either, which is also the rough thing. I could be wrong, but at least in my experience and with people I've known who have dealt with things like this, for the most part, it's a very... I personally don't know anybody who's suffered anything like this who have actually got like a conviction or even heard the abuser admit what they did.
And
I don't mean for it to be like a fucking bleak reality, and I'm sure there are obviously cases of people actually getting convicted for their actions, and
yeah,
it does happen, but
it's just
maybe it's how bleak it's felt to me, but it feels more unlikely than not.
to me, I don't mind realism because either way, I don't want to say I'd be happy with how they do it, but in a sense, I'd feel alright if they do it. Like the realism approach, where obviously Pastor Clayton is a coward, so he kills himself. I know that might think I'm saying like all people who kill themselves are cowards. No, 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 no. It's just he is a coward instead of facing justice. He decided to
Yeah,
kill
he
himself.
is. He's felt the walls closing in. He's finally getting consequences for his actions, and he ends his life because he is too cowardly to deal with it. Yeah.
And I get it. You want to have justice. I don't. Like it took Linda 10 years in a soap to get justice for Dean convicting to the sexual assault he did to her, and that was only because he thought it'd be, I don't want to say a funny idea, but he thought it'd be a cool idea, saying I'm not a murderer, but I did rape someone. That was all. That was Dean's literal. He did not admit it. Like he did. How can I put it? He did not admit it seriously. He literally thought my back's against the wall. I will admit to
Like
this thing.
the only way to get out of this, I'm gonna go down for the less like worst crime, I guess.
And
That was his thinking, and that was him being confident and kind of... obviously it actually blew back on him. But I also say that with acknowledging that they did finally get Dean. Dean has finally been sent to prison for the historical rape of Linda after 10 years, which, we can still admit that, yeah, sure, we probably would have preferred had the past Clayton have gone down. We did just send Dean down for a 10-year-old assault, which I think is still a pretty big deal. And I think, I don't know if people forgot about it or they just didn't really think it fits, but it's still the same. It's still the same thing. It's still the same. It's still the outcome that people would have wanted here. So I don't know. Like, it's a hard thing to do because it feels like if we're saying this and maybe we're getting it wrong, like I don't want to be that like, it's the idea of a bunch of like podcasters where some podcasts are like, yeah, and this is all it's all about these fuckers, and these fuckers are doing all the bad things, and it's like the other guy's just like, yeah, bro, yeah, understand. Like we don't
Oh,
want to be like the fucking
what the
parrots parroting the same shit.
Well, like the fucking like when the comedian gets cancelled and then he starts a podcast and he's like, the problem is the woke people, and then you have the other guys, oh, he's just getting paid to shit and being like, yeah, I agree, Ricky. It's cancel culture.
It's just like it's just the podcast where we are just saying the same shit but phrased slightly differently.
no,
Perhaps we're wrong on this issue.
Yeah, we're
but...
probably wrong, but to me, you can show both sides. Honestly, like it doesn't matter. We try. We will always like we always believe the victims. Like but it's a serious issue. But I will say he's a coward in the show. Fucking
yeah.
But he definitely like if he went to prison, he is a priest. I don't think a lot of people would take kindly to priests being in prison. I'm just gonna say that much.
Narrowly avoided wherever that was going.
No, I'm just saying they wouldn't like him in prison.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a priest,
especially if they found out what he did as well.
If you know, some wanker's gonna like find him like kneeling, praying. He's going, "Want to pray again? Do you, big boy?" Back of the head with a punch.
But yeah, just finally say, and obviously in this situation, the pastor proceeding to not admit to anything, it does get rid of Yolande's closure. It means she will never be able to hear the words out of his mouth. And for most people who have been abused by someone, at that point, you feel they've taken away so much from you. The least you want is just to be able to hear them say that they did it. Because then maybe you can start to move on. And it is tragic, but as we'll get to with how Yolande responds to it, it'll be a hard road of recovery. You know, a lot has been taken from her, and time will tell. But at least in some way, she will never have to see that man again. But yeah, there we are. That's that bit. Now time for the rest of the story stuff that went on in this episode. On the Thursday episode, the day after Yolande and Denzel are preparing.
The Friday episode. Boris didn't
the Friday episode. The day after Yolande and Denzel are preparing to give the statements to the police, Patrick wants her to take it easy, but they cannot rest before they sort it. Big Mo kind of goes fishing for rumors, and then Yolande kind of snaps and reveals that she was one of the victims. But she leaves quickly and starts telling everyone, and it spreads through the market. And Yolande can't handle it. Elaine sits down with her and tries to help her. Yolande believes it's not fair, and she has been saddled with this responsibility. Elaine tells her she's not responsible, and is not the one to blame. Which, you know, it's nice to see Elaine actually be a good person and not just loud and obnoxious. I love Elaine, but even I bet even Elaine knows she's a bit much. Yolande is spoiled with flowers, and Patrick wants to eat food in the Vic to try and get past the rumours. They are stopped by people on the way, and they get close to the Vic, but she cannot hack it because the second she steps out, Honey's like, "Wow, Yolande, I'm so sorry. Anything we can do," and she just snaps. You just can't be dealing with that. Now everybody knows.
I do love. Felix being like, "Oh, save our son, yeah, that's all." Yes.
Yeah, it's not the time, Felix. Not the fucking.
It's like when something. It's like when you find out your dad's dead, but like your younger brother's playing Call of Duty.
The chippies got here.
Exactly. Just your brother's
not now. Not fucking now.
Your brother solved the Rubik's Cube. Like, I've solved it, guys. Hey, what about Dad? Oh, sorry.
But yeah. She heads back to the house and Patrick follow her. She says she feels she needs closure. She needed a guilty verdict in order to move on. She says she cannot be comforted by her faith anymore, and Patrick tries to find a Bible verse, like, maybe this will help, but she says, I can't be comforted by my faith anymore, and throws a Bible in the bin, which is a pretty poignant thing, because it's been a big part of Yolande's character that she is heavily religious and her faith is important to her. And now she doesn't feel like her faith actually supports her, which is going to be an interesting way to see how they do it, because we aren't exactly men of faith. But a crisis of faith is always an interesting story, because you can see it someone's worldview. A lot of Yolande's worldview is about her living in the world that God created, and God causes and makes all these things happen. So to feel betrayed by, in this instance, God causing these actions to happen, like I said, it's an interesting little story, and I do look forward to seeing how it plays out, because, like I said, I don't know, like, it's not something I would understand personally, but it's always good to portray these stories. Like, I wouldn't want religion to be like completely fucking stripped out of the fucking world. Like, just because I may not believe in religion in a sense, it doesn't mean I can't still enjoy how people like go around it.
It's the only way I can describe this is with a reference to Barney, and it's like when you watch Barney as a kid, you grow up and you notice, oh, where's the guy who played Barney now? Like, what do you mean he's a sex therapist? Oh, I don't like Barney anymore. It's that kind of thing when you find out that the person who plays like your favorite TV show, like plays your favorite TV show host, or when something bad happens to the TV show, or like something serious happens that it kind of affects your worldview, you kind of stop watching, you stop reading. You're like, say if you read J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and you're like, I'm just or what's the IT crowd, and then you hear Richard Awadi and fucking your man, whatever the guy who wrote it, just on Twitter playing fucking trans people. Then your worldview will be like, great, good show, but fuck. I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, crisis of faith. I'd obviously faith being the key word. It can still be about just your general worldview, right?
Yeah, it's
someone getting rattled for what they believe in.
Yeah.
Like, it's like I said, it's always I don't remember, but I do remember us talking about this at some point where we said it would be interesting to see. And obviously, I think it was when we were doing Who Done It, and obviously you have Nick dying, and then Dot is starting to question, like, is this right? Is this what it was supposed to be? And it is a really interesting plot point, because it's everything around you crumbling. Like, well, I don't know. I just like it. I look forward to seeing how they cover it, and I hope we get to see a lot more of how Yolande deals and tries to recover from this.
I like storylines like that where you discuss religion. Obviously, I'm in the minefield of, you can't say this religion is above this religion, because all religions are equal in my opinion. I just describe it as it's like every punk song from the 2000s, same song, different story. It's just like that's religion. Instead of Jesus, we have this guy. I'm not going to say any political ones because I do not want to be killed. So you have this guy instead of this guy, and you just change it. I have no problem with people exploring their faith, because I would imagine, because especially in horror shows, if the man of faith there is supposed to guide you in life, which is a pastor or a priest, and you find out that they assaulted you, well, how would you find out? But you know what I mean? They assaulted you. You would feel left out. You would feel like God has betrayed you, because God has put his fate in this man's hands, and he has deliberately shat on it. So I can see where they're coming from, and I'm looking forward to it, because I like storylines like that. Like, exploring like religion and stuff is always interesting. I like exploring. Well, I say I like exploring. I sit in my bedroom listening to Angels and Airwaves, but I like the idea that we're not alone in the world. That there's aliens everywhere and fucking space is massive, like shit like that.
I mean, it is much nicer to believe that there is a God.
It's
It's
much
like
not.
how it's like how it's much nicer to imagine that there is a heaven, that you will eventually be reunited with all your family one day. It is a nice thought. Do I necessarily believe it? Not sure, but it is much nicer to believe that that's there rather than just like what happens when you die. You're dead. Like,
See, but
you can understand where it comes from and the need to believe that it all makes sense, because there's a lot of dodgy shit happening in the world, and life can be relentless sometimes. And especially in Yolande's case, where she just come back, she just rekindled everything with Patrick. She's back to her home where she wants to be, where she's living with her family, and then something horrific happens to her. And everything she thought she knew is gone. All the comfort she had before, they've been ruined. They've been corrupted. So now she has to once again try and find the way, when she doesn't really trust in the voice anymore. You know, if the voice was guiding her to everything she's done, there's that trust. But now that faith is broken, now she's kind of got to pave it her own way, and she has to figure out how to move on and deal with this.
how because I don't know. This just is my little tangent on religion very quickly. I don't know how people believe that the man upstairs, like if he is real, I want to meet him. But I don't believe in the people that see God as a vindictive man who hates gay people, who hates trans people, hates black people, and all that stuff. God, to me, God isn't like that. God is the guy, you go up there, you meet him, you open a can of Stella with him, you sit down, you have a pint, you fucking watch the football, you watch the wrestling, whatever you believe in, and he watches it with you. He's a chill guy. That's what I believe in. He's just a chill man. He's not this hateful man who like caused abortions, who caused fucking hurricanes in countries. He's not this evil man. He's just a nice man who's been told by us people that he's an evil man. Well, evil in the sense of what people think he's evil. But I don't believe if he's real. If he is real, I think he's just a lovely man. Like, I think he could be upstairs right now watching us live on Twitch.tv/watching Walford. But just cheap plug. But you know what I mean? I don't understand why people think he's an evil man. Like, if he is real, he has to be nice. Like, Jesus, you can't tell me he hasn't tried pegging at least once. You know what I mean?
Well, that's complete derail.
But yeah,
but we've done the serious bits, we've done the silly bits. I don't think we do the awards this week.
All right.
So let's just do a general review of the week of EastEnders. I think it was a solid week overall. I think they handled it with the seriousness that it needed. I enjoyed Kojo's little small segments. Kojo is the highlight. I do love that man. The show, the character. I don't give a shit about the actor.
I do love Kojo in the show where he's like, I'm leaving now. George's like, I'll go make a Kojo.
And he's already gone.
And then he's already fucked off.
Yep, been there. I'm leaving.
I
See ya.
I need to rewatch the first scene where he's pulling the pint. I need to see it.
Yeah.
See, the problem is, if he pulls a shit pint, the problem is you can't really be like, oh, this is fucking
He did pull a shit pint, fair play. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't great.
Yeah, but you can't really diss him, like, because you have to kind of be respectful. Like, thank you.
I mean, no one's expecting to masterfully pull a pint perfectly first time. That's a bit of an alliteration there. Perfectly pull a pint. Mate, if I didn't have the pop filter, the microphone would be fucking spewing right now.
But what I will say is I love how EastEnders was postponed because of Boris Johnson. Even though he has featured on EastEnders. Why would Boris do this? I'm sorry, that is just funny to
me. Respect your history.
I just can't wait for Boris to see the future. Like, I went to Peppa Pig World. It was funny. Alright, Boris, you have anything interesting? No. Good. Shut up. You fat fuck. But this was a good week.
It was a good week of the show. They managed to wrap a lot of serious stuff with a nice bit of levity. I found myself enjoying a lot of Bianca's scenes, which I didn't really expect. I've never really been the biggest Bianca fan, but in terms, if Karen Taylor's Diet Coke, Bianca's full fat, you know what I'm saying? Like, they are very similar characterizations, and Bianca is just better in every single way.
Yeah.
So I've actually been enjoying Bianca, but I don't entirely enjoy people treating Bianca as if she is delusional and unhinged. It's like, yes, she does probably have a bit much of a fixation on trying to get Reese, but she's not. But obviously, it's the dramatic irony that she's not fucking wrong. But obviously, the characters don't know that. So,
but yeah, I feel like this has been a serious God week. Sorry if you've been affected by any of the topics in this news in this podcast. I will try and remind Ash, because he does all the description and title, to put some helplines in the UK and Ireland for this kind of thing, because it is very serious and we don't condone the actions of anyone like that. You're a piece of shit if you assault someone, because you're not a man, you're a pussy. I don't care what people think about that, but I'm just saying, if your way of
yeah, I mean, it's a horrific thing to do to someone.
If you attack someone from behind, are you truly a better man? No, because you're attacking them while they're blind. Doesn't make sense. You either fight equal or you don't fight equal at all. It's the same for like assaulting someone.
It's also just, you shouldn't be able to violate someone's like privacy like that.
Yeah,
it is horrific. It's a horrific, selfish thing to do. You
are ruining an innocent person's innocence, and you shouldn't be doing that. And if you do that, you should fuck off. Just know you're not welcome on this channel. Same if you're racist, homophobic, transphobic, all this stuff you already know. But I guess without further ado, we're just gonna say thank you for watching this podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed some of the stuff we said. Sorry if it was a bit serious in parts. We can't really brush over the Pastor Clench stuff. We could, but that would be doing it injustice. We have to.
We'd be doing a disservice, yeah.
And sorry if some of my words affected you or some of Asher's words affected you. It's very hard to be serious and then try and be funny at the same time, because you have to be serious and then you have to remember, okay, so I have to be serious about this bit, but I can say Jesus likes pegging. That's acceptable. So thank you for watching, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.